Shit, I'm the best thing on her. Shit, I am the shit.
I'm not catching fades anymore. Gotta keep my hands clean when they come for the ball. Keep it smooth like a dawn, making moves in the dark. Cause I learned how to swim in the pool full of sharks. Now they coaches, cause they can't read all his motions. How the kid never switch codes, but he codes with focus. Staring down your team with a frozen, ice cold look that could end the summer solstice. Cause I'm more like the top dog. Keep on running game and the gang will accost y'all. I be calling plays from a plane while I'm off court. But we ain't the same, you a lame, I'm a mob star. Actually, I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe. I'm the kingpin. They know I'm a dog and a beast, man. Yeah, I keep the peace with a piece, man. I ain't got no time for appeasement. Why would I respond to a pawn? I'm the... Hold up.
If I let my dogs off the leash, then you might want to get out of dodge for the east. Honestly, they can smell the blood and the beef, and they don't leave anything behind at the east.
I can see you soft, never thought about retreating. If you never have, then they'll give you a reason. Better watch your tone, lose your bass when you speaking. Underneath the mask is the wrath of a priest. When you learn how to smile in their face, then go cutthroat. Then they wanna call you a con when the blood cold. I remember starving while y'all had a truckload. Now I'm with the mob with the call and the gusto. I'm a top dog on a stat sheet. Off court, but I call plays for the athletes. Laughing when the cop cars try to catch me. Cause I rolled off in a taxi. Put my feet up, I'm relaxing. Singing Figaro with no accent. While I pour strings from the streets in. Do it all with a straight face, I'm the kingpin. Top dog, top flow, boss mode. I'm the kingpin. Showstopper, top dog, God vibe. I'm the kingpin.
Guys, y'all seen the thumbnail? Good. I mean, let me say this first. I apologize. First thing, let me apologize. Good Tuesday to everybody's here. I'm glad you could be here. Welcome to the basement and the NFL round table. We're here to talk about sports all day, all the time. Guys, it's midseason. It's midseason. We got an NFL report we got to give. So if you guys weren't here the first time, beginning of the season, we talked about our prospective team, and a few of the guys was here from last time. Some of the new guys from the that was supposed to be here that are here now, and they're gonna talk about their teams. But unfortunately, my team ain't shit. We 4-4, and we looking like ass right now. But we're gonna get into it. But let me first introduce the guys that are coming up. First up, I got my man Governor Ron. Now, unfortunately, he got this ugly ass San Francisco hat on. We're not gonna hold it against him, because his team sucks just like mine. But we in the same boat. We're in the same boat. He thinks he's going back to the Super Bowl. I don't think so. But, you know, we're going to let him live tonight. We're going to let him live tonight. Welcome, Ron. How you doing, brother? You good?
I'm doing well. We're on the run back to the Super Bowl again. I am excited. As I can see, Christian McCaffrey's back in practice. Oh, baby.
With that being said, let's keep this going, because Ron done lost his goddamn mind. Next on stage, we got my man. He calls himself professor, but he can't be too smart because he got this goddamn Carolina shit on. How smart of a man is this to wear Carolina?
What's
going on, brother, professor?
What's going on, Hank? Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me. Hey, whether good or bad, you got to support your team, man. I know we're looking bad right now. I'm looking forward to having a conversation about actually good teams, not named the 49ers. And having had Christian McCaffrey, know how he doesn't show up because he's injured. Good luck with that, San Francisco.
Yeah. God damn, boy, it's early in the program and shots are being fired already. But let's keep this game going. Next up on the stage, it was a guy who was here before. He talked about his team. I didn't believe him. But let me say this, the Denver Broncos are not looking too bad. With that being said, let me bring up my man, Brother Jay. What's going on, Brother Jay? How you doing tonight? You good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. You know, Broncos, we 5-4. We took that big L last week against the Ravens. I was at the game, man. It was brutal, man. But we got Kansas City coming up next week, so that's definitely a show and prove game. So what's up to the fellas up there? Salute to the 49ers, salute to the Panthers, and oh man, Chicago, man. Eberflus needs to go, man. I'm just telling you that, man.
God damn. Stall me out, Debo. Stall me out. But we're going to definitely talk about it. Let's keep this thing going. Next on the stage, man, is my man, one of my co-hosts on the NFL Roundtable. I apologize. I got notifications going on, jumping off everywhere. Shame on my phone. But let's keep it going. My man, his team has played to perfection. For some reason, this man remains undefeated, even though I thought Tampa was going to pull it out last night, but they came up a little bit short. Unfortunately for them, but fortunately for the Kansas City Chiefs, my man Taylor Bell. What's going on, Brother Taylor? You good tonight?
How's it going? I'm doing excellent. Thank you, Hank.
Good.
Governor Ron, pleasure to see you. Professor?
Finally, Taylor Bell. Finally.
I know it's
it's just my
finally
schedule. It's just my schedule.
It's crazy.
I was telling him,
I know.
My schedule is crazy.
I literally probably about 30 seconds ago just walked in the door. Yeah, I had to. My wife and I went to go vote. So,
good.
Long lines. But I was like, man, I got to get home for this stream. So made it in time.
I know that's right. But man had to go out and do his civic duty. But at the same time, didn't forget where he needed to be at, and that's in the basement with the rest of us fellas to talk about our perspective. Now, see, look, I believe this. Let me say this. If Taylor Bell's team was 0-8, I don't think he would be here. He said, fuck y'all, I'm going to focus on the election. But since his team is undefeated, he'll be here to rub it in our goddamn face. Because our team ain't shit what he is.
My wife had to drag me with her. She's like, I'm not going to go vote alone. So I was like, I guess so. But I
know.
Yeah. Have y'all discussed the game last night, or you're just going through the intros? Or
we're just going through the intro. I said we're going to touch on one college thing. We're just going to talk about the Heisman and who's Heisman candidates, and then we're going to jump right into the guys sport, and that's NFL football. We got one more guy we got to bring up. And now this man said he has no teams, so he's going to find a way to take digs at all of us somehow, some way. But this guy named Trey Furr. Now look here. I'm glad he found a way to change his screensaver, his green screen, his background. He did right by me. Because at first he was playing with the baseball. Even though the World Series, congratulations to the Dodgers and all of that good stuff. But let's welcome my man Trey Furr.
What's up?
What's going on, Trey? You good tonight?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing, man?
Doing good.
Man, we up here, man.
Doing good, Trey Furr.
I get into my philosophy about, having no team a little bit, I would have taught all y'all how to play football. So, it is what it is.
So in other words, let me tell you what the truth is. Trey Ferg is a Cleveland Brown fan, and he just don't want to claim himself. It's just
no, sir.
Trash.
No, sir. Never.
I know.
Never.
Shout out to Mimi that's in the building.
Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to Mimi. Hey, but before I get started, let me welcome our first Cash App of the night from a sorry-ass Minnesota, the Vikings fan. His name is Matthew Peterson. You got to talk about the Vikings. We need to talk about the Vikings, folks. They're on the downslide. We don't talk about teams on the downslide unless say the Chicago Bears.
Sam Darnold lucky. He lucky got a wide receiver because Sam Darnold is trash. He is trash.
We definitely going to talk about it. We are definitely going to talk about it. But first thing first, let's talk about these young players who want to be future NFL players in the next season. And these are my 5 Heisman candidates. I talk about it. I had to put a clip out there. Shame on you fellas if you hadn't had the opportunity to watch the video. make sure you watch the video. But if you don't want to see my ugly face and you just want to hear my sexy voice, you can listen to the audio stream on any place you can stream any audio, iPhone, Apple, any place you can stream. Just go there and listen to my sound of my sexy voice. And we're going to talk about the Heisman candidates. But Ron was talking about it in the back screen. He's thinking that Cam Ward is his front runner. I can't totally agree with that. I don't know how y'all fellas feel about that.
See, everybody
I do like Cam Ward.
Cam.
I like. Look, let me say this.
You gotta give it to him.
Look, I ain't gonna hold you. I do like Cam Ward. I think he's a great quarterback. I love his story. How he went, virtually unrecruited all his high school, got opportunity to go out there and Washington State, play a little bit. Then he transferred to Miami, where he's been highly successful. I love the man's story, but I don't think he's a Heisman. To me, I like Travis Hunter as the Heisman frontrunner. That's my favorite. That's who I got favorite to win the Heisman Trophy.
What? Well, you saw what he did against Duke? Are you serious? You saw what he did against Duke?
Oh, you talking about Cam Ward against Duke?
That's
against Duke. Against Duke.
But I'm just saying, that's still.
Ron, I know it's basketball season, and that's the time you need to talk about Duke, but not during football season. Don't do that. Don't do that, Ron.
Right.
Don't do that.
Duke was supposed to win that game. Y'all know Duke was supposed to win that game, correct? Duke was up. They was up by the half.
No, Duke was not supposed to win that game.
They
was in Miami.
Hold on.
I'm gonna be honest. You don't have no defense. UM don't have no defense. Everybody can agree to that. UM really don't have no defense.
Are y'all talking about the Duke Blue Devils, the team that's only known for basketball, and they finally got a little football team, and
they're known for lacrosse too.
Who are they going to beat in the South in the SEC? Nobody. Who they gonna beat in the ACC? Nobody.
Well, they could probably beat Alabama the way Alabama playing this year.
Alabama running circles around there, man.
Yeah, Alabama's not the same. Yeah.
Okay, well let me do this. I say my Heisman favorite, and it's obvious Ron's got Cam Ward as his Heisman favorite. Professor, who is your favorite for the winner Heisman?
Hey, we're on the same page, man. Although I'm a U fan through and through, I think Travis Hunter's been doing it for too long not to get it. He's putting up the numbers on both sides of the ball. I think Travis Hunter should be the clear-cut favorite.
Okay. Jay, who's yours? You watch college football? You college football guy?
Yeah, I'm a college football guy. I'm gonna go with Travis Hunter as well. I mean, where would Colorado be without Travis Hunter? You know what I'm saying? That's that. You know what I'm saying? He plays both sides of the ball. He's a midseason first team All-American on both sides of the ball. Who was the last player to do that? Think about it. Like, I know Cam Ward is putting up a bunch of numbers, but I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks are putting up a bunch of numbers. So I'm going with Travis Hunter.
Taylor, who you got, brother?
I'm going to go with Travis Hunter as well. Let me be honest, I don't watch that much college football. I just don't. But to see a two-way player, I'm very aware of his athletic ability, him starting both ways. You just don't see that. And for somebody to play at such a high level on both sides of the ball is obviously unheard of today. So just by I haven't seen Cam Ward play. I don't even know what the dude looks like, honestly. But I would give it to Travis Hunter because of the. Say that again.
He's about the height of Ronnie. He's about 5'11".
Okay, 5'11". Well, I just pulled up Heisman Trophy odd list, and it's a short list. It's basically Hunter, Ward, and Dylan Gabriel from Oregon, which never seen him play either. But I take that back. You know what? I take that back. I have watched 2 games this year, and coincidentally have been the Buffaloes. So because I wanted to check out Shedeur Sanders, see how his game is progressing. But Travis Hunter, he does jump off the screen as far as athleticism. I'll go ahead and give it to Travis.
Okay. Trey, who you got, brother? And you can't vote for yourself.
I can't vote for myself. I'm too old and ugly for that today, but 20 years ago, yeah. But, when I look at the whole phenomenon right now, I'm looking at Colorado is really the hands down favorite for the triple crown. You got possibly the Heisman, possibly, you know what I'm saying, 2 Heismans, because if Shador wins out and Colorado wins the Big 12, then you're looking at a possible playoff. Maybe depends on if another Oregon loses. You know, see, everybody likes the summer football and the light when the sun is out football. Now it's the second half going into the fall, and the weather go be funny. Some dudes that can run in the sun can't run in the rain. So really got to be careful this time of the year. And I think the team, if Colorado wins out, I can see Shador, Travis 1-2. Just based off everybody likes the fact that he can play both sides, which is a phenomenon within itself. I see the fans are definitely going to vote Travis Hunter. But when you look at a player like Shador, got his father coaching him, ain't none of y'all had a father coaching us. And on the highest platform, they winning. He's clear cut the best passer in college football right now. So if they win out, I can see those two. Travis is going to get it because of his versatility. And it's even if he wins it and he go to the NFL, will they let him play both sides of the ball? So that's something to see.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let me say this. The only thing I'm going with Travis Hunter. My only worry is, will Shador take some of his votes from him? That's my only concern. We've seen it happen before where you had 2 guys from the same team go up for Heisman and they kind of battled against each other, like with Reggie Bush and
Matt Leinart.
Yeah. I mean, is there going to be one of those situations where they're going to take votes from each other? I don't know. But with that being said, I just want to make sure I touch on the college thing just a little bit. But let's get into it. Let's talk about this NFL thing. Unfortunately, we're gonna let Taylor go first since his team got the better record and everybody else is playing for the second.
Well, you know.
Well, let me say this first, Taylor. You got some disturbing news today. I don't know how if you're worried about that. Let me put that out there too.
What's the news? What's the news?
To think about.
What news is that? Did I miss something?
Well, I mean, they talking about he might have a sprained MCL.
Who, Mahomes?
Pat Mahomes. Yeah.
You know, that's weird because it looked like when he went to the sideline, it looked like he was favoring his ankle. And if you watched him in slow motion right before he threw that little rainbow pass, you could see his ankle kind of tweak as his foot planted. Maybe I need to go back and look at the knee, but I've actually sprained my MCL playing high school football. And obviously not on the same athletic level, but I think it took around 4 weeks to feel good enough to play full speed. So he's a competitor. If he does have a sprained MCL, I don't think he's going to miss any time. I mean, we all witnessed that Super Bowl versus the Philadelphia Eagles. He was basically playing on one leg and won him the game and got him that 50, 60-yard scramble. I really think so. I have 2 takeaways from this game. I really think I really think Mahomes is redefining the word or the acronym MVP, right? He's having his worst year statistically, but if they have any other quarterback, they're probably how many wins do you think they would have? 3, 4, maybe 500 ball club if it was anybody else. So I think before the season started, when I jumped on the stream, I mentioned kind of jokingly, he's kind of has the Michael Jordan effect, but dude refuses to lose. Like it's a rare thing that you witness in sports where last year when we would have really, really close games, boy, especially playing the 49, I mean, all those close games, I would get so nervous. I'd be moving around in my seat and I'm, just very, very nervous. Now this season, I expect them to win every freaking game. Last night, I was as cool as a cucumber. I was like, watch, we're going to go into OT and we're going to win the thing. And what do you know? I think he's redefining MVP, and I think he's not going to win the MVP. We all know that this year, but I think that is what an MVP is, most valuable. But that's why they have offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year. But anyways, it was a good game last night. Was I worried? No. I thought Baker Mayfield has had a really, really good season so far. I think I watched. I've been scouting this team, the Bucks, for last night's game specifically, and I probably watched 3 or 4 games so far of the Bucks. And I was fortunate enough to catch, I think it was week 2, where Baker Mayfield had that perfect passer rating, where he had like 5 touchdown passes. I mean, he was just look fantastic. Pretty good team. Both teams obviously dealing with injuries. But they put up a good fight, and it just, Mahomes and Mayfield go way back. Texas high school football. They were both on Texas Tech, and Mahomes beat out Mayfield for the starting job. That's when Mayfield left Tech to go to OU. So they know each other like the back of their hands, and just a great game last night. So I don't know what more there is to say. Hopkins is slowly but sure. It looks like he's fitting in pretty well. So despite the injuries, I think the rest of the season is going to be basically the same. I think these are all going to be close games. Mahomes is going to have 1 or 2 interceptions a game, and they're probably only going to lose, 2 games out of the year, and probably make it to the Super Bowl, and who knows? It's just one of those things where it's like you can kind of see where this is going. Now, can they lose in playoffs? Sure. If Mahomes has to sit out, probably going to lose a game or 2, but I think he's going to battle it out, and I would be shocked if he sat out next week.
My brother Taylor, how long have you been a Kansas City fan?
Okay, basically my whole life. So I'm not going to make this long, but my family's from Kansas. My uncle went to
all your roots are
KU,
from Kansas
and
City.
I'm a Kansas City fan, and I'm a Mahomes fan, because it's a weird marriage. So half of my family, I swear, went to Texas Tech, and I have the other half that went to KU, so Kansas University, or University of Kansas. So it's this weird mesh where
you stuck in the
Mahomes
middle.
and Texas Tech fan, and then huge Kansas City fan. I grew up in Houston, so I was an old school Oilers fan, and watched the Texans as in their inaugural season in Houston. But Kansas City has always been my team since I was a little kid.
So will you remain with them even if Patrick has to go down and the whole season could change? You still going to be their number 1 fan, right?
Oh, certainly, yeah.
Okay, win or lose.
Win or lose, I think Carson Wentz will shock some people. I know people have written him off, but I think Carson Wentz has a few good throws in him left. So
under Andy Reid's system, any quarterback could be pretty good under that system.
Yeah,
exactly. He's going to make sure the team plays very fluid.
And honestly, I think that's how D-Hop is fitting in so well. Is simply because of the coaches. They simplify the playbook. It's not rocket science. I think it's a rare occurrence when you have the best quarterback, the best coach, and now getting a Hall of Fame wide receiver, obviously on the back 9. But as you saw last night, you throw it up, he'll catch it. So I'm feeling good for the rest of the year, even if Mahomes has to sit out 2 weeks or so.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Carson Wentz could handle 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Now, rest of the season, hell no. He's gonna find a way to screw some stuff up. But a couple games, I think he can handle it. But let me not go any further without acknowledge the super chat from my man, one of our biggest haters, but a big contributor, Big Ann 11. He said, it's going to be Dion and both his sons in Dallas next year. I guarantee. I bet they're going to score more than 9 points. Go to hell, Big Ann. But I appreciate you. Now, thank you for your service, and I appreciate the blessings. Thank you, sir. The hell with you only scoring 9 points. He's talking about my beloved Bears. We only found a way to muss up 9 points against the sorry-ass Arizona defense. Shame on them. Let's keep it going with the next one. My man dedicated to the children's future. He gifted one basement membership. Shout out to my man dedicated to the children's future for gifting somebody. Hopefully that blessing goes to somebody and you bless somebody else with that blessing. Right on? Let's keep it going. My man Ron, what say you about the sorry 49ers? What we gonna do?
I don't think we that
sorry
sorry because we still. I don't think we that sorry because we number 2 in our division. We 4-4 in the West. We still holding it down even though we don't have Christian McCaffrey. However, he's back in practice today, and also Jenny as well. So they're back in practice. So that's a good sign for the 49ers. My issue with the 49ers this season is they can never hold the lead. When they up 10 to 15 points, they start going down right around the fourth quarter. That's when they start giving up. And I think it is the defense coordinator to blame because our defense is strong enough to pretty much take anybody down. I'm just being honest, especially in the West. When I saw the Chiefs game, I didn't watch the whole thing because I was actually out of town. But when I saw it,
That was a
the
good
highlight
thing.
of the game, yeah, I was really
It's
upset
good you didn't watch
because
that.
once again, the 49ers had a lead. But when it came to the fourth quarter, they always blow. And I think that's one of Kyle Shanahan's weakness. He do not know how to maintain the lead. In the beginning, he maintains it, but then towards the end, he always gives up. And I think that was going to hurt the 49ers at the end again. I see us going to the Super Bowl again because this is the reason why I know people are going to say, why? This is the reason why, because pretty much everybody's contract is pretty much up. This is it. So if they don't do nothing this year, that's it for the 49ers. Everybody's going to be scattered all throughout the league. So I think 49ers, this is their time to shine and to win. I think when we get Christian McCaffrey back, even though, don't get me wrong, Jordan Mason did a phenomenal job because our O-line is amazing, so you're able to run the ball. It doesn't matter who gets the ball, they're able to run it. But he did an amazing job. He normally averaged about 80 yards a game, which is really good for someone that's just coming into a 49er system. So it kind of shows you that we just need a Christian McCaffrey. That's it.
So
And I think we're ready to go.
Governor Ron, can I ask you a question? So now that Christian McCaffrey's coming back, do you think it'll be a good idea to totally sit the other running back or actually work him in at least 20, 25 plays?
Keep him in there. Keep Jordan in there. Keep him as a starter. Use Christian McCaffrey towards the end because you still want him to be healthy for the playoff. Because Chiefs, I'm not gonna lie, if I know the Chiefs, they're gonna probably sit Mahomes out because they want him to be truly healthy for the playoffs. So if I were Big Red, I'd just send him out for 2 weeks and then bring him back in. So I hope Kyle Shanahan does the same exact thing. Make sure don't put him out too much. Let him relax and then put him in when we head to the playoffs. I know we're going to the playoffs. I don't see no one pretty much.
Christian McCaffrey, he's been able to get his money by not even playing. He done played the least games out of all running backs.
Yeah.
He got his bag. Look, and people be soft on him. Oh, he's so good. But, I think he like that. He understand the game, man. He can replay the second half of the season. The football season, the team that's going to be consistent, and, I'm going to say this, is going to be the Ravens because they have Derrick Henry, who in the cold weather, none of y'all would get in front of him when the weather's
But at the playoff Ravens, I think it's going to fold once again. Regular season, they do amazing work. But when there's a playoff, they always fold. I don't know why they always fold. I don't know is it Lamar curse or something, but he always fold. I think he's too much in his head and he's never able to execute. Go ahead.
You stack the box and make him throw because they don't have any receivers. I mean, Zay Flowers is putting in work, but you stack the box. Who we throwing to? Rashad Bateman?
They still have Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews still there.
Okay, they have Isaiah Likely too, but again, they're not putting in the work like they done in the past. And Mark Andrews just came back from injuries.
Yeah, that's also true too. So I think that's what's gonna hurt B more. But the 49ers, I'm very hopeful. I know for a fact we're going to the playoffs. But I just want us to do another Super Bowl run, and I think it's gonna be the Kansas City again. I don't know. I don't know when it comes to them.
Can I ask a question?
Go right
I want to know, Governor Ron, your opinion, a little deeper dive into Kyle Shanahan. Pause, but into his playbook, his play calling. And tell me what you think on this opinion. Do you think he sticks? Okay, so you go into a game with a very specific game plan, how to attack the opposing defense. Let's say it does not go the 49ers way, kind of like the Kansas City game for a perfect example. Do you think he sticks to his game plan and doesn't variate or change anything depending on how the game is going? And do you agree with that? Or where do you think he is as far as coaching? Because he's taking a lot of
Well,
flack in regards to that.
because to be honest with you, Kyle Shanahan is continuing to change his game plan. He's not following through with his game plan. Prime example: if you see the run is working, you see the run is working. Most of the time, you average about 10 yards a run. That's pretty good. You're supposed to keep that method going. He would change it and try to make Brock Purdy like Patrick Mahomes, which Brock Purdy's not like Patrick Mahomes. So I think that's what's hurting. That's what's hurting the 49ers because they notice that like when the run game is working, you average about 10 yards a game. You close to the goal line. Now you're having Brock Purdy throw the ball. Why? Run the ball right in the middle, make the touchdown. That's it. So I think he constantly keeps changing his game plan. That's why the 49ers continue to be. You already know the fans are continuing to get frustrated because like, why are you changing the game plan? You see it's working. It's working for us. You see now we got a 20-point lead. How come in the fourth quarter now we down by 4 or down by 12 or down by 15? It doesn't make logical sense. It's because you keep switching things up. But then Kyle Shanahan, instead of taking ownership, he'll blame the defensive coordinator and say, hell no, it's his fault. We not executing, and that's not true because as you can see, Fred Warner he's doing what he needs to do. Nick Bosa, everybody already know he's going to get his 2 to 3 sacks a game. So what's the problem? It's Kyle Shanahan is always the issue. So I think they're not going to get rid of Kyle Shanahan. As you can see, they love his system because most of his coaches throughout the league was under Kyle Shanahan. However, he needs to stick to his plan and just stay with it. We got a 20-point lead. Stay with the 20-point lead. Don't go down. Don't just give up. Kill. Go for the kill. Go for the deletion.
Gotcha.
Go for the deletion.
Okay. So let me ask you this one more question, Rob, before we move on to my brother, Professor. And this is going to be painful. We got to hear him talk about the Carolina Panthers, but we got to give my man the opportunity to talk about his Carolina Panthers. Well, Ron, let me ask you this: with the Brandon Ayuk injury, and now you got to rely on Jennings as your number 2 receiver, and we all know Debo's in and out. He's pretty much injury prone. Do you have a lot of faith in your receivers? I mean, other than other receivers you have, other than Kittle's, is pretty much all you got. I mean, Jennings is all right. I mean, and I can't really rely on Debo. So
Jennings runs a 4.
You probably should have made a move during the trade deadline today.
Yes, Uncle Jenny only run a 4.2. So mostly each cornerback normally runs about a 4.4 or 4.3. So Jennings is. However, I think what's gonna make Jenny look kind of great is because of the simple fact everybody's gonna be focused on George Kittle and Debo Samuel, so they're not gonna focus too much on Jenny, and I think that's what's gonna leave him open, and that's gonna make him shine a little bit. Unfortunately, Brandon Ayuk, I'm not gonna lie, he made me very frustrated because he came in and gave him a good contract deal, and then he pretty much he didn't care, and that I think a lot of people got upset about Brandon Ayuk, and then when he got injury prone, now he's upset like, man, I ain't expect this to happen. You were playing sorry to begin with. Debo Samuel, to be honest, he's a miracle worker. He can do anything. You can put him in any position on the ball, he's gonna make it work. But he can't do that all the time. As you can see, he's injury prone now. And then you already know you got George Kittle, who's also injury prone as well. If you put him out there and you work him too hard, he's not gonna average 50 yards a game. He's gonna average about 20, and they're gonna set him back and be a holder or a protector of the quarterback. And then that's not good as well. So Jenny is gonna shine a little bit more because of the simple fact they're gonna focus on the other 2 components. And now that it also give other rookies that's also on the sideline opportunity to shine as well. Because now Jenny's number 2 as a wide receiver.
Now, real quick, do you give Brock Purdy your if you're the GM, do you give him an extension at the end of the year?
Yes. You
do? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, because Brock Purdy on QBR right now is 93.4. That's really good QBR. He pretty much he don't even throw an interception. I think right now he only through the whole season he only threw 7 interception, 10 touchdowns. He normally averages about 2 touchdowns a game, and his yards he normally averages about like 250 to 260 a game. So
you've seen enough from him that you'd be comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Keep him there. Because look at what happened to Sam Darnold. They got rid of Sam Darnold. Look how he's doing with the Vikings. Like Kyle, for some reason, Kyle do know how to mold quarterback, But at the same time, I think his system fits Brock Purdy. I don't see Brock Purdy going anywhere. I don't even see him going to like a Dolphin or Atlanta. It won't work with him. It won't. He won't shine the way he's shining now. Keep him there.
Well, guys, I want to first things first. Let me apologize to the audience about we're about to hear talking about the Carolina Panthers. I want to apologize. Unfortunately, it is what it is. You got to talk about the good with the fantasy chief. Now we got to talk about the bad with the Carolina Panthers. Here we go, Professor. Let me ask you this. Y'all on the clock right now. We already know that. Knowing y'all can probably be the first overall pick. What quarterback are y'all going to be drafting?
Well, actually, we're number 3 right now because of the win against the Saints. You know, the one that got Dennis Allen fired. So unfortunately, we don't. Yeah, he got his walking papers. Either we fire coaches, or we get him fired. You lose to the JV team at the NFL. You should get your walking papers. But I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. I have been for 2 years. I actually been more than that, but I want him in Carolina for the past 2 years. We need everything. We need defense, offense, special teams, a coach. We need a lot of things in Carolina. But no, I'm a Shedeur Sanders fan. Huh?
So you just hired him, man. You ready to get rid of him already?
Hey, listen, I'm with David Tepper, man. If he ain't working, he ain't working. Dave Canales, while the women like him here in Carolina, he ain't it. He is not it. We should. So what happened is we should have kept Steve Wilkes. You know, when you get rid of black people and hire other people, you know the job that's going to be done ain't going to be that much better. No offense to anybody on the panel, but I'm saying to you, Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes had this team going. They got rid of Steve Wilkes. They got rid of Cam Newton, and we've been trash ever since. So Shedeur Sanders should be the number 1 pick.
Didn't Steve Wilkes go 500 this last year?
Hey, but that's a win though, because they ain't went close to 500.
You talking about the year he was in Carolina as the interim coach, or the one he was in?
He had a pretty good record as an interim coach, though.
On top of that, let's not forget that's the year we got rid of Christian McCaffrey. That's the year they were trying to tank, and he said, "No, we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna go 3 and out, and if we punt, we punt. We're gonna play defense." But and they almost made the playoffs that year, and then Tepper didn't hire him. He ended up hiring Frank Wright, which we all know how that went.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he did well. He did well when he was here. I mean, even in Arizona, if he didn't want Josh Rosen, that was forced upon him. And you see what Arizona has looked like since he's left. They've been a dumpster fire. They got rid of Cliff Kingsbury. They're on the next coach now. It's been a dumpster fire since he left. So it's the curse of Steve Wilkes. But I think Shedeur Sanders should be the pick.
Man, so you said forget Bryce and just get rid of Bryce and all of them, huh?
Sir, Bryce should have never been in Carolina to begin with. He should never be in the NFL. He should be greeting people at Walmart. When I saw my sister listen, Walmart, Target, whatever. He's a good dude. Make him a manager at Walmart. He should not ever be in the NFL. He shouldn't have touched the NFL. He shouldn't have been on this grade. He should have been maybe USFL, maybe XFL. I don't know. You know, have NFL, CFL. He's not good.
But you think it's because of coaching, Professor?
No, it's not.
An issue?
It's not the coaching. It's not the coaching. It's the culture, but it's not the coaching. So let me explain. So I've watched a lot of his snaps, obviously, because I got to watch this trash every Sunday. By the way, we're the only team that don't have a national televised game either. There's a reason for that.
Wow.
So he moves into sacks. Even one of the sacks he had Sunday, instead of stepping up in the pocket, he moved to the right, and the tackle had veered the defensive end out of the way. He moved into a sack, which he's been doing, because at 5'10", 5'8", 5'6", whatever he is, nothing wrong with short people, but NFL you got to have a certain height. He can't step up in the pocket, and because he can't step up in the pocket, he can't throw in anticipation. He has to wait for the receiver to get open, and then he moves into sacks. C.J. Stroud, for all intents and purposes, would have done bad here too, because C.J. Stroud against pressure up the middle, or against pressure in general, was threw at 26% at Ohio State. So he would have had the same issues that Bryce Young had for the most part, because our line was terrible, but the line is a lot better now, and he couldn't step up in the pocket, which is why Andy Dalton has looked slightly better than Bryce Young, because Andy Dalton can step up in the pocket as opposed to Bryce Young. Bryce Young is not the answer. Bryce Young is a good guy. He should be a backup somewhere. And by backup, I mean he should probably be holding a clipboard, coaching somebody like Josh McCown or what was that quarterback that Kellen Moore, who came out of Boise State. Or Ken Dorsey out of the U. But he is not an NFL quarterback. Cut it, clip it, tape it, send it out. He is not an NFL quarterback.
So, brother professor, who would be your number one pick as the GM? Which I think I already know, but go ahead.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna go back to it. We already had number one, and Cam Newton. We had number one. He was probably the greatest quarterback in Panthers history. Now it's time to move on to number two, the second greatest quarterback in Panther history, which is Mr. Shedeur Sanders, double S. Matter of fact, get Shiloh in the third round. But we need Shedeur Sanders in Carolina because there are pieces here. We got a nice young receiving core. We got a nice young tight end. No Diddy. And the offensive line they spent a lot of money on. So I think Shedeur Sanders should be the pick in Carolina. If I'm the GM, if I'm Dan Morgan, I'm picking Shedeur Sanders and bringing. And Deion's probably gonna be at Florida State next year. So, but I'm bringing Shedeur Sanders.
Now I look in my opinion, I think y'all need to get an ownership group and buy y'all owner out because he's not helping the situation at all.
That's what I'm saying.
He stepped back a lot this year. He's doing a great job in the community. As a philanthropist, he's done great in the community. He raised $23 million for the people that suffer from the hurricane. The soccer team is actually in the playoffs. They're playing the third of three games against Orlando FC. He's done a great job stepping away and letting the Charlotte Football Club people handle the Charlotte Football Club. Because that was a cluster crap at the beginning. So he stepped out of the way of that. And he sort of stepped out of the way now with the football side while hiring a group to help him find a coach. So he's sort of stepping away and let Dan Morgan make the picks that he believes should be made. But he's not the brightest. He's also part of the group in Pittsburgh that wanted to get rid of Mike Tomlin. So he's not the brightest. But I think he's finally stepped away. And it's going to take a lot, man. We really need a lot. We need, defense. I mean, defensive end. We need defensive line. We need all linebackers. We need a lot, and so it's going to take an overhaul. So Shedeur Sanders will come in here and not change much, but we will definitely have decent decent quarterback play finally since Cam's been gone.
Well, they just said, let's keep the party going. Ain't no need to stop it now. We're going to get with my man Jay. He's a fan of the Denver Broncos.
Yes,
Knicks.
Sir. Knicks and the Denver Broncos, man. So far, the Denver Broncos, we 5-4. Bo Nix didn't start out real good against Seattle. Really struggled his first few games. Last couple of games, he pretty much picked up the system. I really like Bo Nix. The only question I have about the Denver Broncos is twofold. Number one, we need to get a back. Javonte Williams, he's slowed down since that ACL injury. Estimate's been fumbling the ball a lot. I like McLaughlin, but he's more of a third down back. So I don't really have a lot of faith in our backfield. And for the life of me, I don't know why we didn't pick up a receiver by the trade deadline. I'm sorry. I mean, Cortland Sutton, he's a good number one, but we need that number two. Because Marvin Mims is not it. Marvin Mims is a good kick returner, good punt returner, but he's not a number two receiver. The defense is a bunch of no names. I mean, the only name that a lot of people know is Pat Surtain, probably one of the top two corners in the league. Defense was pretty good. It's been pretty good this season, top 5 defense. And the Ravens, I mean, they just sliced us apart. But, I mean, Lamar Jackson's going to do that to anybody. I think Sean Payton has a good plan in place with Bo Nix. I had Bo Nix being rookie of the year, but Jaden Daniels, he took that away. I mean, Jaden Daniels is in the running for MVP. But as far as the Broncos, I think we'll probably go 9-8. We got a big game against Kansas City next week. We'll see. But I'm pretty optimistic about our Broncos.
Good stuff. Good stuff. With that being said, you're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin They the hot thing going in the AFC North right now. What do you say about that, Brother Bennett? How you feeling about your squad?
Well, first of all, good evening to all the men in the panel. Shout out to Hank for hosting this. Shout out to the Gen Xers. Shout out to those 7B brothers out there as well. Good to be with you guys all again. We came into this season with just a ton of question marks. Going in at the end of the season, we had Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph as our quarterbacks. Our offensive line was decimated, and we had a lot of injuries on defense. And so, certainly through the con artist, Zach Kahn, he made some moves, and now we have two viable quarterbacks. We bolstered our offensive line. We drafted Zach Fraser at center in the first round. I know he's been out of the last 3 games, but he's coming back after the break here. So we have, certainly done a lot to improve. And obviously the biggest thing was the competition. So obviously Russell Wilson gets hurt in training camp, and we're going into the season with, Justin Fields, who is somewhat of an unproven commodity coming out of Chicago, almost like a requisition project. And he got us to a 4-2 record. Not the prettiest passer, but he made some plays with his legs, 10 touchdowns, 5 passing, 5 rushing. The defense is stellar, top 5 defense in the NFL. And we kept teams down, and but it gave us an opportunity to work some things out. I think at this point, Mike Tomlin, it should be a leading candidate for Coach of the Year, just given what he's had to deal with this year. And he was bold to, stood by his convictions. Everybody was saying keep Justin Fields as the starting QB. Mike Tomlin said, look, Justin's been good, but we're aiming for great. He decided to go with Russ. And I think we're seeing the what Russ brings to this team, not only just the veteran leadership. He's a much better passer. He passes with touch. You see how he gets all these players involved, guys you didn't even hear their names called. Now they're getting the opportunity to make plays. Just today, they got Mike Williams from the Jets in. I like that move. 6'4". Certainly he can be a balance to George Pickens on the other side of the ball. Najee Harris has been running beautifully, 3 100-yard games in a row. And so we're taking the 6-2 record, which very easily could have been 8-0. Because I definitely think we, again, Justin had his worst game against the Colts. I think we definitely should have won that game, and we were just a hair from winning against the Cowboys, and that still stings me to this day, that loss. But we're about to go into the gauntlet of our season. We're starting off with playing arguably the hottest team in the NFL right now with a rookie quarterback in Jaden Daniels, and then we start our AFC North schedule, which that's probably the least I'm worried about, because again, the last few years we've owned the AFC North. People talk about Baltimore, and yes, I know they got Derrick Henry. Good luck with Deontay Johnson. Okay, we got rid of him for a reason, so good luck with him. Mm-hmm. And just keep in mind, the last 8 games we are 7-1 against the Ravens. The last 8 games, and Jackson is 2-4 against us in his last 6 games against us. So again, we do a pretty good job against them. Cleveland, I mean, that they're not going anywhere. So I look forward to we're going to I don't think so, sir. But certainly we're looking forward to the second half of the season. I think we have finally, for the first time in a long time, probably since 2018, we have competent quarterback play, which I think will only get better certainly as the season goes on. And so I'm just looking for bigger and better things. The only thing, my worries is, again, the offensive line is still somewhat of a patchwork. Guys still getting swapped in and out. Unfortunately, we bombed with a couple of our draft picks. Our number 1 pick, he may be out for the rest of the year, and Troy Fartano. And again, I think we bombed with our 3rd round pick, Roman Wilson at wide receiver. So I'm glad, again, that we also got this pick. And so we, so again, getting Mike Williams, again, a very nice addition. And so I'm very much looking forward to this. The only game that really scares me on the schedule, obviously Washington. I think they're playing with a lot of momentum, so that'll be a good test for us coming out the break. And obviously Kansas City on Christmas Day, we play them. And certainly I feel good about the game, but again, I'm scared about Kansas City. I already picked before the season started. I already picked Kansas City to 3-peat. I think I picked Kansas City against the field. So on our one-on-one sports show, we talked about that. I'm picking them until it's like Ric Flair. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. And he finds, just like Ric Flair, he would fight Nikita Koloff and the Road Warriors and Dusty Rhodes and those guys, and he'd get the cheap victory. He'd put his foot on the rope and get the victory, but they still win. They win ugly, but they win. And I don't care. So again, Mahomes goes out limping, comes back out. It's like, oh, here we go. And as Taylor was saying earlier, he won a Super Bowl with one leg, and I'm not betting against him now. He's got another weapon at wide receiver. So it's just until you beat them and you can show that you can beat them on a regular. I don't care about Lamar. I don't even care about my own team. Until you can prove that you can get over them, I'm not picking against them. And I think if he does win a three-peat, I think he's clearly in the GOAT conversation, because here you're not talking about greatness. You're talking about GOATness. And so he's going to be in that GOAT conversation if he wins another Super Bowl. And certainly there's a part of me that, as much as I love the Steelers, I want to see, just to be able to see that in my lifetime. I'm very curious about that. So, but very positive about the season. Easily 14 wins. I can certainly see 14 and 3 to round out the year, and probably a second seed to Kansas City, unless something happens with, if Mahomes gets injured, then all bets are off at that point. So, but feeling pretty good overall.
Well, before
you see Pittsburgh only losing one game rest of the season.
Look, the way we dominated last year, like I said, the only games I said Washington worries me a little bit in Kansas City. I think we'll probably get a split of one of those games. And again, I'm really not worried about the North. Again, until Jackson can prove he can beat us. Now it'll be ugly. It'll be 17-14. It'll be 9-6. It'll be ugly. But until they can beat us, I'm not. We got the kryptonite for Lamar Jackson. So until he can prove otherwise, yeah, I'm rolling the dice, and I'm going with a definitely one loss, 2 at the most. But yeah, I can certainly see a 14-3, going into the playoffs.
Well, look here. Let me before I go on and share mine. Let me. Dedicated to my church future. He said, man, I'm not going to just give one. I'm going to give 2 memberships. Shout out to Dedicated to my church. I appreciate the blessings. And whoever got that membership, I hope you appreciate that blessing. Look here, let me say this about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not going to keep on giving Taylor all this goddamn credit. I'm sick of this shit. But I got to give him credit for this, man. Kareem Hunt, Hopkins, great pickups, great trades. They made great deals in order to help Patrick Mahomes go on that successful run for at least an opportunity to win it for the 3rd Super Bowl. Look here, I'm going to say this. Kareem Hunt was probably the best, even better than Hopkins. They needed a receiver. We all know that. That Kareem Hunt pickup, especially when Pacheco went out hurt and they put him on IR, and that guy's not missed a beat. He's been carrying that team. He's been toting that rock and doing what he has to do. And that's what's really helped Patrick Mahomes a whole lot.
Well, because
with that running game. That running game has really helped him.
You got to understand something. Kareem Hunt used to be, remember his mentor is Nick Chubb. You don't see they run kind of the same? That power run, they like brothers. That's why I lead the Browns.
Kareem Hunt was in the league before Nick
Chubb. Before Nick Chubb.
No, but like my mom's just saying they're like brothers, like brothers. No, they both like because they both have that same power run. They like brothers.
Hunt started off with Kansas City. He's going to redeem himself just under that whole culture, because you have to sort of come in with that mindset under Andy Reid's system. And both of these guys are getting their second and last chances in a sense. And you're going to see it because Kareem Hunt he's 2 points behind Derrick Henry as far as when he runs the ball, he's only making 3 to 5, 6, 7, 8 yards a carry. That's the running back you want on your team. And he knows. And D-Hop, he ain't got to do nothing but be quiet and catch the ball. Now, again, Patrick Mahomes, he could miss some few games, and that throws your rhythm off when that weather changes. It's going to be rainy and snowy. So it's going to be a different brand of football. So it's interesting to see the teams that are really excelling, in the dome weather, and now that fall season comes. It's a long season, man. This is real football right here. So everybody
I would say in that case, advantage Kansas City, because they did it last year. Look what they did with Miami. When Miami came, that they play in all nasty weather out there. So they're built for that too.
Mahomes, yes. With a healthy Patrick Mahomes, I can see it. So.
Look, let me tell you, it's why they won't affect them. Reason why they got a good tight end and Travis Kelce. He's coming on. He's starting to get hot. They got a good running game. Now you're going to have Pacheco. When Pacheco comes back, you're going to have a 2-headed monster. He's not gonna have to go downfield. He's not gonna have to throw the ball deep downfield like it. He can because he got Hopkins gonna be able to get down there. But guess what? He's gonna be able to dump it off them little 5 to 10 yard passes to his tight end. Because what's the other Taylor the game Watts? I think that's his name.
Watson,
number 84. Yeah, Watson.
Yeah, Watson.
He's a pretty decent tight end. So now you got a 2-head monster at your tight end spot. Now you got a 2-head monster going to be happening with Pacheco and Hunt. Man, they're going to be dangerous. Look, right now, I don't see nobody beating them in the AFC. Hands down. I know Brother Bennett said that, they're going to put up a fight. I think, I think what's going to end up happening, y'all going to end up losing in the first round of the playoff. Brother Bennett, I ain't going to lie. The first round of the playoffs, they're going to lose. Probably somebody like Buffalo. But I think it's going to be Buffalo and Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC Championship game. That's my prediction right now.
Oh, so you ain't got Lamar getting to the championship, huh?
You said what?
Yeah,
you ain't got Lamar getting to the championship.
No, they're going to lose to Kansas City Chiefs in the second round. That's where they're going to lose to them.
So let me ask you, who do you have winning who do you have winning the AFC North though? Pittsburgh or Baltimore?
No, Pittsburgh will win the North. They'll win the North, but they end up playing against I think Kansas City. I mean the Buffalo Bills, and I think Kansas City will play. They end up playing Baltimore, and Baltimore end up playing losing to Kansas City, and Kansas City end up eventually beat Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction right now. What I'm seeing now, it could change, but that's just my prediction. That's the way I see it. Now let's talk about the NFC. But look, let me not get to that. Because my team gonna make the playoffs. I don't know how. I don't know what way it's gonna do, but we're gonna figure something out. I got my fingers crossed, guys. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. But we'll see. Let me talk about my team. My Bears. Right now, we sit at 4-4. We on a 2-game lose streak, and I'm not liking it. Because a couple of those games, those 2 games we should have won. I thought we should have beat Arizona. I think the effects of Washington beating us is beating us twice. We lost the actual Washington game, and then going into this Arizona game, I think it still weighs heavy in our mind how things happen, and I think we lost because of that. We wasn't focused, we wasn't locked in, and that's the reason why I think Arizona beat us. Now, what we can't do is allow that to happen again when we play against the New England Patriots. That's a winnable game for us, and we need to win that game, especially when we're about to play the Green Bay Packers the following week. We undefeated in the NFC North. But of course, we have no wins out of NFC North because we haven't played any division games. Them division games are going to be very important to us. We got Minnesota twice, we got Detroit and Green Bay twice. Every team we split besides with Green Bay. Green Bay swept us, but everybody else we split with. So we can beat Detroit. We can beat Minnesota. Green Bay's a thorn in our side. But I think we got a chance this year. I really do. Now, our offensive line has been bad ever since the beginning of the season. Nothing's changed. Our offensive line is still bad. But Caleb needs to start dumping that ball off. He's when we go in 3rd and 2 and he's trying to go deep wide, either tuck it and run or dump it off to the Cole Kmet, the tight end, and get about 2 or 3 yards to get another first down and get you 4 new downs. I like it. His decision making is questionable to me. Now, that may be because he's a rookie. He's young in the game, and he's going to learn. Hopefully, that's what it is. Our offensive coordinator has not been doing us any favors either.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna let you go, Hank. But I gotta tell you, man, he was doing this back at USC. The same stuff you're seeing right now with the Bears, he was doing it back at USC. USC always trying to run around, try to make the amazing plays. And like you said, take the 2 yard, take the 3 yard, the 5 yard ditches, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, the Bears, they have the core. They got 3 legit receivers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The offensive line's not helping, but I'm like, Slim, like you got 3 legit receivers. That is the thing that's killing me about Caleb Williams. Like, you got Cole Kmet, you got 3 legit receivers. The offensive coordinator is not helping him. Rookie quarterback, the number one thing a rookie quarterback needs is a legit run game. And they're not giving them that legit run game in Chicago. I'm just being honest.
Well, Jay, I have the perfect quarterback for Chicago if they want to dump it off. Bryce Young.
Go to hell. I'm about to drop this guy. He's talking crazy to me. We don't want no damn Bryce Young. Nobody in NFL wants Bryce Young. Y'all the only fool that drafted. Shame on
Sure,
y'all. I'm glad y'all did
Hank,
because it benefited us. Because we got y'all second round pick, and we want that second round pick to be at least 33rd pick. I'm hoping that y'all
it's gonna be.
lose.
now,
Hey,
now
I-
Hank,
But yeah,
I,
but
Hank, I
that's
got a
who
question
he
for
is.
you. Though.
Okay, hold on, let me finish this up right here.
Go ahead.
We still got a lot of games left, right? We're this is week 9 coming up. We got 8 games left. I don't know if Matt Eberflus gonna make it. I really don't. I don't. 500 wouldn't keep his job. He's gonna have to have. He's gonna at least have to make the playoffs in order to keep his job. That's the only way Matt Eberflus is gonna keep his job. He has to make the play. If he doesn't make the playoff, he's gonna be unemployed, and we're gonna be looking to give Ben Johnson a call, the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. I felt like we should have did that last season. We missed out on it, but I know for sure if Eberflus gets fired, more than likely he's the front runner for the Chicago Bears. But go ahead, Brother Bennett.
So I just need to go, and I didn't get a chance to go back. Obviously the game that probably hurts the most is obviously the Washington game, the Hail Mary at the end. Where were you when it happened? What was your first reaction when it happened? And how'd you go from there? Like, what was I don't know if you might have did a wrap up show on that talking about it, but I just sat down and I got you live here. Just what was you thought you had the game in hand? What was going on in your mind when that went down?
So, for those who don't know, I got access to every football game, right? And the app that I use is a bootleg app. I'm not gonna say what it is. It's not.
It's all right.
I just use that,
I'm
and it's
guilty
been
too.
good to me.
I got you.
But unfortunately, it's 5 seconds behind. So I'm looking, and you know, I got a couple guys on the fantasy football team, and I'm looking at the notification. I heard it going off. I said, I don't see what happened. And then when I was looking at the notification, because we took the lead, I was happy. I said, oh, we got it. Play defense for 30-something seconds. We got this. So I'm looking at my notifications for my other fantasy team. All of a sudden, I get a notification, we lost. I said, hold on, what the hell? Next thing you know, I look up, it's happening. It's my ass. So it hurts, Brother Bennett, and truth be told, because I'm a Kentucky fan. So I don't know if y'all know anything about Kentucky basketball. Kentucky basketball played against North Carolina in Elite 8 to go to the Final Four. And I thought we had to win. My man Fox came down, scored, took the lead. Unfortunately, the weakest power forward in the college football game in Mays hit the shot and beat us. I felt like it was all over again. That the way the Bears lost, the way the Kentucky lost against Carolina was the same way it felt, and I felt when Chicago lost to the Washington Commanders. It hurt.
Did you see that video of the defender for the Bears who was jawing with the crowd just as the play went on, and then he was the one who then tipped the ball?
I fired him. Unfortunately, I have no say so, but I fired him. I'm glad they benched him. I thought that was the right decision.
Oh,
It was terrible.
Yeah, they benched him. He didn't play against the Cardinals.
No, he played. He played because we had an injury.
He didn't start.
He played because we had an injury. So, yeah, we had no choice but to play. But the whole sequence, the thing about it, he got a 15-yard personal foul penalty. You did that already. You already screwed up some way during the game. Now you're going to turn around, taunting fans. You're supposed to be guarding the back man. That was your guy who caught the ball. But you want to go over and be hero and try to tip the ball. And soon the ball tipped, the guy caught it. I said, man, this only happens to me in the Bears.
You don't get on the bus. You don't get on the bus. You don't get on the plane.
Right.
It was clear.
But nobody expected that to happen. Nobody expected
Williams?
that to happen, though. Nobody expected that to happen.
You
Because
see
he had
Caleb
enough in his
Williams
gloves, though.
when he was telling the coach, yo, you got to bring somebody up for that. Remember that 15-yard out route that McLaurin caught? Caleb Williams was like, yo, you need to put somebody up there on him so he don't catch the 15-yard out route. I think that was the biggest mistake, though.
But you see, that comes down to the coaches, because Chicago Bears have never had a coach since Lovie Smith. And again, brother, he had a 500 record when they let him go. And look at what it is. We thought Caleb was the answer to my boy Fields, who probably would have been doing good in Chicago, but they let him go. They wanted to get the dude to play California football weather. And now I'm telling y'all, when that Chicago weather hit him, his fingernails and everything gonna be cold. Because I'm telling you, if you ain't never been in Chicago in December, man, I'm trying to tell you, the wind coming off that lake field, it's gonna get ugly. So they need to develop a run game and throw the ball to the top receivers. That's what you bought them there for. So not bad play calling.
Before I do that, before you go, Taylor, let me acknowledge this super chat real fast. Shout out to J Dub for the $2.16 super chat. He said, wishful thinking for the Bears. 2 more wins only. Damn you, J Dub.
That's crazy. 2 more wins?
He's full of crap. Why ain't nobody listening to that?
Honestly, if y'all lose to the Patriots this week, I think Matt Eberflus is gone, Slim. You don't lose to the Patriots.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. We fall over 500. He done for. They gonna send him to the unemployment office for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely done at the end of the season. I wanted to get your take on Caleb Williams' progression, right? You see the two number one, or not two number, but the top 2 quarterbacks from this draft. Compare and contrast. Obviously, one's having a very successful rookie campaign. You see Caleb looking like he's struggling a little more now. I'm not saying putting that on him. Could be the coaches. But what is your take on his progression? And so Eberflus gets fired. Who would you like replacement head coach, right? What is your take? Defensive, offensive? Do you think Caleb Williams can rebound if he has a, kind of continues on where he's going to finish the year out? What is your take on the quarterback position and ultimately head coaching in the future of the team?
Well, Caleb's been up and down for me, right? He started off real slow. He kind of got his mojo. But again, like I was saying earlier, I'm disappointed in his decision-making on when it's 3rd and 2, 2nd and 2, and he still want to go 20 yards down the field. Why? We need 2 yards, brother. Yeah. Get them 2 yards, and maybe, the first play of the first down, the next, take your shot then. Yeah, you right? Take your shot then. I think there's been some times where he probably should have tucked it and run. I would like to see him run a little bit more. Now, he's got the slide down. I appreciate him doing that, but I would like to see him tuck the ball a little bit more and run. Open the offense up a little bit more. So with his legs, my only issue is when right now. I got to keep going back. He's a rookie with a bad offensive line, so I can't really fault him a lot on some of the things he do. But some of the decisions making about, like I said, going deep downfield on 3rd and 2, I hate that. I'm not a fan of that, and I think he needs to do a better job of that. And I think he's going to learn that through growth and better coaching. As far as a coach, if Eberflus doesn't make it after this year, I said it. Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, will be our next coach. That's who I think they will go. And he's an offensive coordinator. So I think we're more likely going to go the offensive route.
But will they pay him that money? Because he's going to want some money.
Will he accept? Because he's already turned down jobs, remember?
Well, he did because he said that he had unfinished business. But I think Hank got it incorrectly when he pronounced Ben Johnson. It's Super Bowl champion Ben Johnson because they're going to win the Super Bowl this year. In the second part, Taylor, two things that make things easier for everybody on the panel. Two places you do not get quarterbacks from: USC and Alabama, because they don't do anything when they get to the league.
Definitely not Alabama.
Do you think Byron Leftwich could be the good candidate for the Bears job?
No.
He won a Super Bowl. Hey, y'all get the brothers no outfit. Yeah, that's
he messed his opportunity up. He screwed himself.
Yeah,
I mean, he was talking crazy, but
he didn't even get the OC job with, because I thought he was going to. Wasn't he supposed to get the OC job with Tampa at one point?
He was
trying to. Yeah,
he was. Well, I think when an intern. No, I don't want him. That's just like you might as well say, well, you want Eric Bieniemy. No, I'm good. No, I don't want Eric Bieniemy. I don't want Leftwich. Neither one of them. You know, I don't want no offensive coordinator from Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, hang on. Well, speaking of that, I got a question for Taylor then. So obviously, you've had a lot of history with Eric Bieniemy, and he seems to be off limits in the NFL. I don't know if he's not nailing his interviews or whatnot, but since you know him from his time with KC, what is the knock on him? Why do you think he hasn't been able to land a head coaching job?
From what I understand now, I've obviously heard varying stories as well, but it's a personality issue.
Yep.
For as much as, because I initially thought he'd be a great hire for numerous teams, franchises, starting off, and then the last couple of years, I've heard a couple things, heard a couple interviews, went back to watch specifically, find points in games where is that true? It looks like he's had some words back and forth with players numerous times. And let's be honest, Andy Reid runs that show, right? But I think Eric, maybe he rubs some of the players the wrong way. Him and Mahomes got in a big spat on the sideline numerous times. I mean, not all the time, but there were a couple of blow-ups you can go find on the internet. And look, I have no idea, right? Maybe those guys just brush that off. That's the only thing I can tell from somebody sitting,
Because remember, wasn't he the OC? Wasn't he the OC last year in Washington though?
Yeah, he had issues in Washington too when he first got there. So he's with UCLA now, but he had issues in Washington when he first got there, rubbing players the wrong way. So he has a personality issue with Taylor saying.
That's what okay. See, I didn't know that with Washington. So
yeah, he was there with Ron
Rivera. I guess that's what it is.
Rivera. Yeah.
And look, same thing with Nagy, right? He's been a former head coach, offensive guy. He just holds the play sheet. I mean, it's a nice cushy job to have. Andy Reid calls all the plays. It's Andy Reid's show as far as the offense goes. So whoever's in that position, look, it looks great on your resume, but I'm not sure how much they're adding to the team, right, or to the game plan. But
last question I have for you, Taylor, is as far as Andy. I mean, obviously he's accomplished pretty much everything you could possibly. If he gets a third Super Bowl, he can basically ride off into the sunset if he wants to. Has he given any indication that he's looking to step down anytime soon? He's just
Before the season, that was about for a day or two during training camp. That was a big question, or maybe a topic the local sports radio shows were kind of fluffing up because they didn't have anything else to go on. But he had, I want to say, very, very minor, not health scares, but I think he had. And look, for these coaches, during the season, it's almost impossible to get a cardiogram or they're eat, sleep, and drink football. So
plus he has some personal stuff too, right? With his son, I think it's his brother or something like that. Yeah.
Correct. So just to be blunt with you, I don't think he's going to slow down. I don't see him retiring or at least the next few years. I mean, again, I think he had some minor things, but those are behind him. Go ahead.
I think if based off what you and brother Benny have been projecting as far as Super Bowl wins, I think if he runs the table and three-peats, I think it'll possibly be his last year.
I don't think
that's the ultimate GOAT right there as coaching.
I don't think so either.
He's still got to be Belichick. He still got to be Belichick.
I don't think so. That's his life. I mean,
okay.
He very well could.
Super Bowl undefeated. That's the key.
I think he'll probably stay as long as Patrick Mahomes is quarterback. And I think once Patrick Mahomes hangs it up, then Andy Reid will hang it up.
They're going to have to carry him off the field.
That's going to be another 15 years then, because all these quarterbacks playing into their 40s now. So, I mean.
Patrick Mahomes is 28 years old.
Yes.
I mean, how old is Andy Reid? What, in his like
67, 68, something like that?
Yeah, 60, in the late 60s.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick coached in like 73.
Yeah, but Bill
That's the
Belichick
4
had,
years. Though.
but he was
He's
younger when
different.
Tom Brady was putting in work.
Yeah.
Andy Reid old.
Exactly.
I don't see Patrick Mahomes playing until he's 40. What else does he have to accomplish? If he gets 6 rings, what else is there?
Well, again, if he's like Brady, it has nothing to do with the money. It's the game. You know what I mean?
It's
like
the game.
You know,
Facts.
he's that kind of dude. Like I don't see Patrick Mahomes going into the broadcast booth or having a chain of businesses or whatever. He's not like a Magic Johnson. It's like he's football. That's his. What else is he gonna do?
Well, nobody expects Tom Brady to do it. He's doing it. Nobody expects Tom Brady to be in the booth.
I don't think he wants to. I think if he had a choice, I almost think he got, just with all this personal stuff going on, if he could still play, if a team picked him up and gave him a deal, I think he'd still be playing right now.
Of course.
100%.
Yeah, but I think Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes are a little different. I think Tom Brady is just wired just to play football, and that's all he does. I think Pat has some other outside things. I think he's probably with more family. I don't see Pat playing the 40, 41, 42. I just can't see it. Josh Allen, I can see him doing it, but not Pat Mahomes. I just think he has other interests. He grew up in the life with his father. I think he has other interests that he wouldn't play. He'll probably play 35, 36.
And to be honest, his body might not last till 40 or 41. I mean,
That's
the
true,
different
too.
body structures.
That was true.
Patrick Mahomes is not.
his body, he may physically break down at 36, and
it's crazy because
it is what
he's
it
not
is.
that. He's a big guy, but he's not like physically
Yeah.
impressive. He's not a
Yeah,
Cam
man,
Newton
shape, yeah.
or Lamar, whatever. He's kind of got like a dad bod to an extent.
He's
But
not.
he runs when he has to, right?
Paul,
He doesn't impress you. It's like, oh man, he's got muscles,
Right.
But he's got this dad bod. But he runs. He gets the moves when he wants to. He can
get the
throw
job
these
done.
unconventional
That's all that
passes. He's like a bumblebee. He just gets it done. I mean, I've never seen an athlete like him ever, and not in the NFL anyway.
No, that's not true because we've seen it through Deion Sanders. Now I can tell y'all how the connection.
Now, Deion's an athlete. I mean, you get to Deion, multi-sport, basketball, track and field, all that. Patrick looks like,
He played baseball too. Now most football players that played baseball when they were young and through high school and maybe some college, if you look at their football careers, it's always top tier. You can go look at any football player that played baseball. Most of their football career was top tier. You can always say Hall of Fame for the most numbers.
But I compare
Do
like
you remember Drew Hansen? Do you remember him? He used to play.
Yeah, but
he didn't work.
Tom Brady definitely remember Drew Hansen.
I didn't say 100%.
And even recently, I mean, you got a man with Cleveland, quarterback now, Jameis. I mean, he was a top pitcher in college, and he's an interception machine in the NFL. Yes, he'll throw for 5,000 yards. He'll throw 50 interceptions too.
Yeah,
Kyler
Jameis
Murray
is colorblind, man. So what you think?
Okay, what about Kyler Murray? What about Kyler
Murray
Murray
was number one in both sports.
and Russell Wilson? Both
of them got Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl winner.
9-time Pro Bowler.
He didn't win it. He was on.
He runs out of that combo.
the one thing about Kyler Murray now is that I think Kyler Murray has the right coach. He has the right
And
coach.
he's winning.
So they
Yes.
building something down in Arizona. And I think give Arizona a couple of years. I think Arizona's going to be what Detroit was 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Arizona's building. I'm
They
telling
got
you.
a better record than Chicago.
Jay, I don't like them baby quarterbacks. I don't like them baby quarterbacks.
I don't either.
But this is the thing, though. You don't have to. You get a legit run game. You have a legit defense, and you have a number one receiver. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to have Kyler Murray do a lot. They're building something slowly but surely.
And he's one of the top 3 running quarterbacks in the league.
But his height, you have to do a lot with him because you have to move him out of the pocket. So you have to have certain things in place.
But he doesn't take a lot of big hits either.
Because he can run. He's one of the best running quarterbers in the league.
And you don't want to hit a child, Jake. Don't do this, man. He's the size of a baby.
And he's still taller than Bryce Young.
God damn.
Quick question. I want to ask you guys on the panel what y'all think about.
Snatch your ass up, Professor. I see that right now.
I
He
want
gonna
to
come get
ask you
you.
guys just one question on the panel about Tua Tagovailoa. What y'all guys think about him? Do you think he's going to be? Do you think this is the end career for him?
Alabama quarterback.
It should be. But I mean,
I shot a video on this, man, and to be truth be told, I think he needs to retire to this year. I think this needs to be it. I think he needs to retire for his overall health. I really do think he nees to retire, man, because he's got 4 documented concussions. That's not including the undocumented concussions that he has. He has
And
some
Alabama too.
At Alabama. So yeah, I really think, man, if push comes to shove, he should be retiring after this. Now, whether he do it or not, I don't know. I think family members need to be having conversation with him.
The family's the one that's putting him out there, though.
Right.
I was hearing the interview. He's talking about his dad would get back in high school. His dad would get him a beating if he threw an interception in the game.
Yes, I heard that too.
I mean, that family is if he's doing it, So I mean, that family is obsessed with football, and so I don't think they're going to be the ones who are going to push him out. I think Miami really screwed up by giving him that contract. Why are you going to pay that guy $60+ million a year, knowing the injury history that he had? And so, and I think the whole league has been overpaying for all these QBs. I'm looking to see that the running back market needs to be reset. You need to pay these running backs because clearly the running game is coming back. But look at all these guys who got paid over the last 2 years, and what has their performances been? It's been really
$55 million.
He got $300 million contract, didn't he?
$300 million, yeah.
Yeah,
Pat Mahomes.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick Mahomes wasn't his like $500 million or something like that, but it's like over. It's like spread out over some years or something. Yeah,
it was like 400 over 10 years. And he restructured.
Well, he's the only one I would say who's underpaid. He's underpaid. Everybody else.
Mr. Bennett, it's done.
He getting wide receiver money.
Ain't nothing going back in the bottle. They not gonna stop. Guess what? Your boys.
They can do a reset. They can reset. It's all about market. At some point, there's got to be a crash of this market with these quarterbacks. I'm telling you. I mean, and again, you seeing what's happening with Derrick Henry at 30. You see what's happening with my guy Harris in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. The running game is people starting to realize that again, we can't be having these guys throwing 40 passes a game. You have to be able to run the football.
You better be able to run the
football. The problem with the running back market is that
Derrick Henry's the last bell cow type running back. Him and John Taylor.
And he's only making $8 million.
What about McCaffrey? He's the one that got
McCaffrey can't stay healthy.
He'll never be happy.
Because they saying Derrick Henry may be the last 10,000-yard rusher ever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, running back by committee. They're not going to do it though. Look, Brock Purdy is the next one up to get the big contract. We see it now. There's about 16.
But at least you could say he's been to a Super Bowl. You can at least justify it. I'm saying you got guys. The guy in Jacksonville. The guy with Cleveland. You have all these guys making this money and they haven't earned a thing. They haven't done anything. Even Dak, one playoff win in his career.
Well, let me see what do you guys feel about this? Because while I hate the Patriots, I do agree with Belichick. He believed in drafting quarterbacks every 2 to 3 years, because what you do is, and Tom Brady did take a pay cut, but my thing is, if you draft a quarterback every 2 to 3 years, you just let the quarterback, your starting quarterback, walk. If you have another quarterback that can step up, and that way you keep that number low, and you can build around them, which is why Russell Wilson got his championships, while a lot of teams were getting their championships because their quarterback numbers were lower because their quarterbacks were on rookie deals. Brock Purdy and them, same situation. So how do y'all feel about that?
Well, the thing about the quarterback market, that's why they say the first 4 years of a quarterback's career, that's where your window is. Like Brock Purdy, the 49ers window is about to close. Their window's about to close. CJ Stroud and the Texans, you're going to have to pay CJ Stroud. That window's about to close. Now, if you look at the Detroit Lions, they gave Jared Goff an extension, but the extension wasn't that much. It was kind of middle of the pack money. So now the Detroit Lions, they have a nice little window because they just read up on Amon St. Brown. You just read up on Montgomery. So the Detroit Lions are doing it the right way. Jerry Jones, to me, that was the dumbest mistake you could have ever did, giving Dak that money. You gave Dak $60 million. Now he's hurt. You could have just let him walk and just went in and reset the market with Shador with the Cowboys.
And Jay, the last two quarterbacks they had, let me know if I'm wrong. They spent on the past two quarterbacks only a fourth rounder, because Tony Romo was the quarterback before him, right? Mm-hmm. Undrafted.
No, he was undrafted.
Undrafted, right? So they only spent a fourth round on their past two starting quarterbacks.
Right.
So
yeah, but they gave up a third round for Trey Lance, why would you give a third round for Trey Lance? I mean, Trey Lance showed you he's a bust.
Well, they wanted Mac Jones, and the ownership made him pick Trey Lance. I think Mac Jones would have been a Brock Purdy in that system. I think Mac Jones has been done a disservice because when he was in New England, he had a good year. Then they gave him a defensive coordinator as his offensive coordinator, and he struggled, and that's why he's in Jacksonville now. But they wanted Mac Jones that year.
Yeah.
Now I think a lot.
Well, I mean, look, Trey Lance is going to earn his check because I think Dak's going to be out for a couple of weeks now. So we're going to see what Trey Lance is going to do.
No, he's the third string. Yeah, which calls the starter now? Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush.
God damn, you can't even beat Cooper Rush.
That's how bad he is, man. He's terrible.
He bad. Cooper Rush is starting again.
Charles Barkley.
According to Jerry Jones on Talk Radio today, he said, "Listen, we going into the bag on everybody. So right now, ain't nobody got a secure spot on that offense as far as what, according to Jerry Jones' own words out his mouth today. He's like, hey, at this point, he ain't named no starting quarterback. He ain't say no place. Say, look, right now, we need to look at everybody. Everybody is important. So it'll be interesting to see how Dallas fares, because right now I know Dallas fans all over the country are sad as hell.
No, they in the chat. They in the chat. They here too. Dallas
okay.
The coach,
hey,
you're gonna let the coach walk, and you're gonna
Yep.
What would you do if you're Jerry Jones?
Somebody already said it.
Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders.
It's a package deal. It's a package deal.
Look, I think he's going to get fired before the season over with. I think he's going to be the next coach going to get fired.
Yeah. Because Jerry Jones, he's very upset and very frustrated. And he's old. He shouldn't be frustrating himself. He's supposed to be relaxed.
Oh, yo, look, he's Jerry calling Jones out. He's picking on radio hosts. He's like, I'll fire all you dudes, man.
He's playing. Listen, Jerry Jones, he's too greedy. He can't. Right now, he has to get a GM. Dallas without a GM will always be in the position that they're in. Always.
At least they're not throwing drinks on people.
That's why you're over helping people out.
Like Tepper.
Man, the only person that can fix that situation is Bill Belichick.
That's true, Bill Belichick.
Where do you think Bill's going to go next year?
Lose another home game.
He's going to have his choice. He's going to have his choice.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So, Professor. So, how about Carolina with Bill Belichick?
It wouldn't work. He would. I don't think he's young enough to take on this job. Here we have you have a quarterback issue. We don't have a quarterback, and we have a lot of other things we have to build. I think Bill Belichick wants a ready-made team. And I think he could do well with Dallas. I think if you get rid of Dak and bring in a quarterback that could, that's what Cam would say as a game manager. I think Belichick will go somewhere because they already have a defense for the most part. They have a good offensive line. All it is a quarterback play.
Hey, Professor,
I just can't see how that works. Will Jerry allow that personality? We already saw with Bill Parcells.
Oh, we know he won't. He won't.
He wouldn't let Bill Parcells cook.
Out of that control, and so I don't see that'll be a good fit. Now, an ideal fit for Bill Belichick, if it works, to go back to the Jets. Now I don't know if y'all remember, he was with the Jets for a while, and they made a deal to get in order for the New England Patriots to get him. He's gonna have to mend some fences to get back there with the Jets. But I think that'll be a good match.
I got another fit for him. I got another fit
Aaron
for him.
If Aaron Rodgers decides to stay, I think it'll be he's got a quarterback. They got a great defense, and they got the receivers. They got a good running.
No, we got to remember.
They got the pieces.
I got another fit.
Remember, he took the job, and then the next day he said, "No, I ain't gonna take it," and then went to New England. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They got him in the fence. They got him in the fence. But I think that'll be a hell of a fit for him.
Another fit. Jacksonville.
Oh hell no!
Can't win.
I don't think so.
No, I'm telling you.
No. So he could go right where you are. Let's just take
that's a project.
Where's his girlfriend from?
No. Hear me out.
Damn,
You already got a quarterback. You got a quarterback. Trevor Lawrence.
Hey.
You got two bookends on defense in Jacksonville. All you need is that legit head coach. I think Jacksonville will be the best place. Because they got a defense.
But I don't like Trevor Lawrence as a quarterback. He's gonna have to draft a new quarterback down there. I look, and you talk about another team made a mistake by paying their quarterback. They made a mistake by paying Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And that's why I go back to one or two things should happen with quarterbacks. Either you set it aside in the salary cap, you can pay a quarterback whatever you want, and it doesn't go against the cap, or you have to stop paying quarterbacks. Like you have to continue to draft quarterbacks and let your starting quarterback walk. Because at the end of the day, you cannot win championships by paying your quarterback $40, $50, $60 million a year. You just can't do it because you can't build around them.
But see, the owners have a choice. They don't have to pay the quarterback.
They have to pay. They got to pay. Hey, them agents run that. You don't want to pay my quarterback. I ain't sending nobody your way.
You see what the Jets did? The Jets said they got rid of Zach Wilson quick. You see what New England did? They got rid of Mac Jones quick.
Hold on. So Zach Wilson's a whole different. When Zach Wilson took that picture at the NFL draft, go back and look at it. He was around all them brothers. He didn't know what was going on. I said, when I saw that, I said he's gonna struggle in New York, and he struggled in New York. Mac Jones was the number 2 quarterback in that draft. Now, people could say I was wrong, but he still was the number 2 quarterback in that draft. Justin Fields was not it. Trevor Lawrence was probably number 1, but Mac Jones was the number 2 quarterback in that draft. That was go back and look at the tape. And Zach Wilson was not the guy.
And then
you just said Alabama, right? Don't trust Alabama quarterback.
He's the only Alabama quarterback.
He's the outlier.
He's the only Alabama quarterback that I looked at. I'm like, dude, this dude got it, and he showed it in the first year he was there. I mean, he beat out Cam Newton for a reason. That first year he was there when he had Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator, he put in work. The only time he struggled is when they put in Matt Patricia and then the special teams coordinator as his offensive coordinators, and he struggled from there. And that's why he's in Jacksonville now.
Want to talk about the obviously we talk about the running back. So obviously we've seen again this resurgence again. Derrick Henry, and I don't think he's going to break 2K. I mean, I think I think week 6 they were talking about possibly him breaking. I don't think he's going to get there. But you see his contributions there. We saw the crazy run from Saquon Barkley. I mean, again, Giants didn't want to pay him. Goes to Philly. They're doing work. They're doing work over there. So I just and then again Dallas. You could have had Derrick Henry, but then you're going to say you don't have the money to pay him. You give Dak 60, and then you give your wide receiver all that money, and you don't have $8 million. Nope. So again, I think this year is going to be a lesson. And if the Steelers, if they're smart, because again they didn't give Najee Harris that contract extension, but I think he's going to earn it and stay in Pittsburgh. At least give him at least a 2 or 3 year extension on top of what he has. But he's been earning his money. He's the last running back in the league to have 3 1,000-yard seasons since his rookie season. He might be on pace to have another 1,000-yard season this year. Really playing well. So again, if I'm Pittsburgh, I mean they should have signed him. I was going in saying why didn't they sign Najee to a contract extension? But I think he's definitely going out there earning his money. And but yeah, I think running backs, they're going to be the difference, especially as we get into December football. So
they drafted a running back, didn't they? Wasn't it Jalen Warren they drafted?
No, Jalen. He's been there. He's there as his 3rd season. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, that's that 1-2 punch. It's like the hammer and Harris, and then Warren's the quick guy. He's had some injuries. He's going to be bound. So and that's another thing. I don't think he's a long-term solution. The thing with Harris also, he's never been really injured. Right? He's a bell cow. He's healthy. But Warren's has some injuries, and again, for the speed guys, that's what grounds the speed guys is when you get injured. So I don't see him as a long-term solution. So if you want that guy to stay that consistent guy, get you 4.4 per carry, you keep Harris, you build around, get another diverse back or whatever in case Warren goes down. But I'm not worried about Harris at all.
So I think the problem with Dallas is they let Tony Pollard walk. That was
their problem.
Yeah. You see what he's doing.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah.
And then what's up with Zeke? Zeke got benched, right? Suspended. He's like he was
Zeke ain't there, man. Zeke got
Rico Dotto
partying, man. Zeke ain't playing. He ain't there to play for.
He back in Cabo. He's back in Cabo again mentally. He never left Cabo.
Nah,
he never left.
Hey guys, look, before we go, I want to get everybody's second half to the season. And I want to know what your prediction is the second half of your season. So we're going to start off with you, Ronnie. What is your second half prediction for your 49ers?
49ers are going to win. I'll see y'all in the playoffs.
Okay. Say it with your chest.
You sound crazy.
Don't do that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I keep saying, Kyle Shanahan need to keep his system going. Believe in the system. If you see it working, don't change it. Run game. It could never stop the 49ers run game. I'm sorry.
But what happens in the playoffs, though? He overthinks it.
He do. I think it's the curse of Kyle Shanahan ever since Atlanta, and he's bringing it here to San Francisco. No,
He'll think himself out of
Atlanta.
a Super Bowl. He will every single time.
He will. But we can run it. We can run the ball because I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be 49ers and Green Bay at the end. That's what I'm predicting. 49ers and Green Bay. Green Bay is playing very good football. You may not like it. Green Bay is playing really, really good football.
You got me when you say Green Bay because Jordan Love is a turnover machine, man.
They
just
lost.
Turnover machine, but they all still playing good, and they got a good running game, solid.
Won 5 in a row.
Now, but also
Win ugly.
Detroit's playing good as well. But I think Dan Cameron is what's going to hurt Detroit because Dan Cameron, he always take risks at the end, and I think that's what hurt. Because remember, last season, they had 49ers beat. He went for it. That would hurt Detroit. So I think he still have that. I don't care attitude. I'm gonna go for it. Don't matter. I don't care if I'm at the goal line. I'm going for it. I'm not gonna do a field goal. I'm just gonna go for it. And I think that was gonna hurt Detroit at the end. But I'm looking at Green Bay and 49ers at the end. That's what I'm looking at. That's my prediction.
All right. Thank you doing too much, Ronnie. But who's to tell you how your team's gonna finish? We'll see. Jay, what do you have, brother?
I'm gonna be realistic, man. We 5-4. I think we'll finish 9-8. I think we'll barely miss the playoffs. I think Bo Nix will continue to improve, and I think for the cherry on top, I think we'll beat Kansas City in the last game of the season because they'll be sitting there starters and they'll finish with that one loss. That one loss will be to Denver.
I got you. Taylor, what do you got, brother?
I think it's going to be same old. You're going to see Chiefs overcoming some hurdles in the season in this back nine. You know, Mahomes may sit out a little bit here, but they're going to get strong as the season goes on. Getting Pacheco back, you're going to see them get the first the bye in the first week of the playoffs. And same story. Going to be close games. Going to be under 30, and Chiefs are just going to find a way to win. I mean, that's the way the last couple seasons have gone, and I don't see it changing. Now, I did pick Green Bay at the very beginning of the year. I said Green Bay or Detroit. I just can't figure it out. Well, I think I have it figured out now. My pick for the NFC is going to be Detroit. But I think the Chiefs have the kryptonite on the way to the Super Bowl, have the kryptonite for the Ravens, and most other AFC teams. You've seen them beat Buffalo with 13 seconds left. They went right down the field, I think, and then, they continually beat the Ravens. So I hate to repeat myself, but that's the way I see it going. Again, this year I'm kind of just sitting back and enjoying it. The last couple of years I would be biting my nails. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And now I'm just like, yeah, they'll win. So I just hope they are fun games. And I've really been watching last year. Not saying I did not watch any other team but the Chiefs, but I'm really keeping my eye on a few teams. So I can't wait to see. Detroit's one of them. So I can't wait to see what they have. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I think the Detroit Lions will play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and we'll see where that goes.
All right. Professor, is it going to get any better the second half of the season for you guys?
Well, I only need 28.3 seconds. I think Ron can, being a Kyle Shanahan fan, can relate to 28-3. Do I think it gets better? I think we get our next win November 24th against some team out of Kansas City. I think we'll actually beat the Giants this week, unfortunately, so we won't have the number one pick. But I don't think it's gonna get much better. We don't know who our quarterback is, so it won't get much better than that. But I'm with Taylor when it comes to the Chiefs and the Lions. I think the Lions will win the Super Bowl this year, which is kind of hard for me to say after they went 0-16. But I think the Lions will win a Super Bowl, and Ben Johnson, fortunately for you, Hank, will be the next
against the 49ers. You crazy. Against the 49ers, y'all crazy.
28. First of all, the 49ers won't even get there. 49ers will lose in the divisional round. They won't get there. Mark my words, they will lose in the Listen, Kyle Shanahan is not a prime time performer. He's not a PTP, as Dickie V would say.
Yeah,
he's
baby.
Not. He struggles. He struggles in big situations. Name me the Super Bowl he's won. Matter of fact, name me the Super Bowl he was winning in at halftime, 28-3, and then he lost. I'm just trying to tell you. I'm just saying he's not a PT peer. Some people are, some people are.
Atlanta. Where you in Atlanta?
Yeah. And they, how many rings does he have? The same amount I have. Zero. That's right. So at the end of the day, and how many rings Christian McCaffrey got? He got one. He gave from Olivia Munn. That's where he got his ring from. So
wow.
that's the only ring he don't get because he's too busy clapping cheeks and instead of playing on the game. And I got him in fantasy. So I don't dislike the 49ers. I just know I don't live in a delusional world. I know my Panthers suck, and I know the 49ers won't get out the divisional round. So I know it's not Purdy. I know it's not Purdy, but y'all will get y'all get to the divisional round and lose by 17. But no, I think the Panthers will 17. By 17. Mark, hey, cut it, clip it, and mark it down. Anyway, the Panthers will be terrible. We'll have the third pick because that's how we do. Because we never get the first pick, and then we'll pick probably someone Quentin Ewers or somebody terrible. But I think we'll get 4 wins this year, and have Justin Fields in here next year along with probably Quentin Ewers or somebody. And so I don't think we have any chance to do anything good. But Detroit Chiefs Super Bowl this year. And that's it. Thank you guys for having me.
I got you, Press. I appreciate you, Brother Bennett. What's your prediction for your after the Pittsburgh Steelers season? What's
well, again, we're looking at minimum 13-4, if not 14-3. We're looking at number 2 seed, so I'm definitely looking for Ciara versus Taylor Swift. You'll see all the cameras. You'll show 50 shots of Ciara and Taylor Swift doing the game. So that'll be what most people will be looking at. So definitely looking forward to that. But again, I'm not getting off it. Again, I'm a realist also. I think the Chiefs, I think Patrick Mahomes, I think he's going after something that's bigger. You're talking about, again, GOAT status. And I wouldn't be mad at all if people said that he's the GOAT if he gets a 3-peat. So I'm looking to see if that occurs. Yes, I know Brady's got 7, but and Brady's the only guy who's really beat him. So you definitely got some storylines there. But yeah, Kansas City is just, you got to be perfect, and I think that's the issue. You have to be perfect, not only in your game plan, but also in your temperament. You saw basically Baltimore imploded last year. They had every opportunity to win that game. But then when Flowers got the penalties and whatnot, again, they just take you out of your game, thinking that you got to be. You play outside yourself, and just strange things start to happen. And they're battle tested. So I don't think these guys aren't going to flinch in that pressure. So again, I pick KC against the field, and I do like Detroit coming out. I think they're the scariest team. I know the Eagles and Washington. It's a great story with with the rookie quarterback and whatnot. Clearly, rookie of the year candidate. And certainly I wish him well. I think this is what they originally wanted from RG3. I think they're getting that with Daniels. And, so again, great for Washington because they went through decades of dysfunction with that prior ownership. So it's just good to see this, them being rewarded, going through the name change and everything. And it's finally that's being rewarded. So I wish them well in their efforts too. But yeah, Detroit's looking like they're the best in the NFC. I mean, they handled Minnesota. They proved that they weren't legit 5-0 team at the time. And but again, at the end of the day, again, Joff against Mahomes. We saw that when they were when Goff was in L.A. They had those shootouts with Kansas City, and Kansas City still beat them. So until you can beat the man, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Mahomes and Kansas City, they're the men, and I'm picking them to win the whole thing.
I got you. Trey, what are you thinking about the second half of the season? What are your prediction is?
Well, I think it's a lot of great football left, man. Salute to everybody, who rooting for their team, man. Hopefully everybody can get the second half of the season. Again, this is fall football. Fall football is a little different than, spring and summer football. It's a little different type of atmosphere. For my NFC, I think it's a unanimous as far as in the championship game. I can see Washington and Detroit, but I also look at football from year to year. I believe Dan Campbell has definitely learned from his mistakes before. All points are important in the playoffs, whether it's 3, 2, whatever you get. You got to go for the points first. I think, just based off of Detroit, and now they have a balanced run game. They have two-headed monster running back. Jared Goff is playing MVP passing game, football. He got two good receivers. You got two catching receivers. I think Detroit, if they get the home field advantage, I think they have a better chance of making it to the Super Bowl. As far as my AFC, I'm gonna go with probably the greatest acquisition in the last 10 years to a team that's already led the league in rushing. And I think this injury, hopefully Patrick Mahomes doesn't miss too much time because it could throw the whole chemistry off. Baltimore has gotten better. Obviously, you can see in the passing game, more balanced attack. The secret to Kansas City is you have to stick to your game plan. Andy Reid is probably the greatest coach that can sort of mix it up in the middle of the game and go to his trick bag and pull out 42 plays with a quarterback that ain't none of y'all ever saw a quarterback throw the ball sideways and ain't looking. So that's a new, you know what I'm saying? But I think as far as the AFC, I think it's a toss-up right now. You can have everybody fight down to the last game. I can see Baltimore and Kansas City, but I'm going to go with the upset for Baltimore because the running game with Derrick Henry is different than, a lot of, and it shows second half of football. Lamar, I hope he's learned. But again, Patrick, it ain't going to be no blowout. 3 to 7 point, last Hail Mary, whatever. But I can see Detroit, Baltimore with the Detroit's balance offense, balance and defense, because the defense for Detroit is 1-2 in the league. So I can see them edging it out just because of that, because I don't think Detroit, in the offenses, they flowing right now. So it's a lot of good football. I can't say it's a clear-cut favorite, but I can see an upset in the AFC just because Patrick Mahomes, his injury could play a big deal going into the second half. He could tweak it again. The field's a little slippery or sometime. It's a little different combination. So if he stays healthy, I can see him in the AFC Championship. But if Baltimore, I think Baltimore just slightly edge him because both play in cold weather, both play outside. They've met plenty of times before. Lamar has won a game, but Patrick Mahomes, he has that special touch. So it'll be interesting, but I'll pick Baltimore, Detroit winning the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm gonna go with this, man. I like some of y'all predictions and I understand them. I said a little bit earlier. KC will be playing the Buffalo Bills for the AFC Championship game. I think it will be Philly and Detroit for the NFC Championship game, and I got Philadelphia and Kansas City Chiefs in a rematch. That's what I got.
And, Philly don't got no defense. That's the problem with Philly. Philly ain't got no defense. The defense is trash.
That may be the case, but Philly can score. So I think that's what it's going to be, a good old shootout between Detroit and Philly for the NFC Championship game. But I think it's going to be, like I said, a rematch of the Super Bowl before, with Kansas City doing what they did before and winning. Kansas City over the Philadelphia Eagles for the Super Bowl. That's my prediction. That's what I got. Now, as far as my actual football team, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to have. I can see us going 9-8.
Yes or no? Do you make the playoffs? Yes or no? Making playoffs.
If let me say this: if we go 9-8, I think we can make the playoffs. If we actually go 9-8, we can make the playoffs. Look, there's a lot of teams in the NFC are not.
Oh, it's trash. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Look, there's 4 automatic spots, and then there's 3 open spots. Right now, we sit at number 9. We'll be a 9 seed right now. And that's tied for number 8. So we got a chance. Now, the second half of our schedule is not no cakewalk. It's tough. Like I said, we got our whole division games we got to play. But we can win games in our division. We split with Minnesota. We split with Detroit. Now, we got swept by Green Bay, but I think we could split with them. If we could split with all those teams I just named, that's 3 wins right there. If we could beat New England, that's another one. I think we could beat the 49ers because they ain't shit to me. So that's 5 wins. So now there's your 9 wins right there that we need in order to put us in a playoff. Will it happen? I don't know. We'll see. I got my fingers crossed. We'll see. But with that being said, hopefully we do make the playoffs. But I think Eberflus not going to make it. I think he's going
I
to get
think I will.
fired.
I think y'all make it. I think y'all make it.
Look, if we make it, that means that man's going to keep his job. Who's going to keep his job, and then we'll move on. But if he don't make the playoffs, he's not keeping that job. He's not keeping that job at all. I don't see it. But look, guys, I appreciate y'all coming, man. I appreciate y'all being.
Good show.
And look, hopefully we can have an end of the season type show, and we could, get ready for the playoffs, and we can have the same conversation. I will make sure I will keep y'all guys in the loop. I will send y'all a link. We're gonna do an end of the season show and see if any of our predictions gonna come through. The last game, we're gonna do it after week 18. We're gonna come together again and say, hey, was our predictions right? Did the Bears make the playoffs? And did the 49ers get snuffed out by the Seattle Seahawks or what?
The Rams.
The Rams.
The Rams got two weapons on the team.
Look,
that's killing it.
I'll tell you this: a team we didn't speak on, and that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah,
they coming around, man. Now you talking about
a little too little, too late, but
yeah, because they got a lot.
I don't know, brother. They still got
and they still can't stop anybody. All that defense is suspect too. They can't stop anybody.
Defense is trash. Yeah. Wait, we almost beat them. They defense is trash.
Yeah,
true.
That's
good point.
True. That's true.
Good point.
I mean, yeah, if you got Cincinnati as a sleeper, then I got the Cardinals as a sleeper.
Yeah, they sleep.
Hey, Cincinnati is the only Kansas City killers out here. Can't none of y'all other teams beat
Kansas City. That NFC West is just, you talking. You may have a team with 8 wins come out at 8 and 9 may win you the division. That's how tight it is out there.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. That's it. But with that being said, man, I appreciate you guys being here. I thank everybody from the Facebook and the NFL Roundtable for being here and hanging out with us. So, guys, like I said, I'm going to make sure we tap in for the next one at the end of the regular season, and we'll go from there, brothers. I appreciate that. And for everybody in the basement, it's NFL Roundtable. Thanks for being here. I will see you on the next one. Right on.
No, thanks for having us. Thank you,
Take
guys.
care, okay?
Good night.
Stay safe.
All right.
All right.
Yes, sir. Let me go in.